my work. I love your work, but it's always so big. Now, when I say big, it's life size.
Yes, it is life size. It's not that big because I'm not that tall.
That's
I'm
not
5 foot tall.
5 foot, no, but it's still a 5 foot painting in a domestic space. It still commands a presence.
Yeah.
You know, and your work is kind of, it's I'm here. So tell me, what's the thinking behind producing works of such size?
It is about making a statement and a presence, especially a black woman's presence. I guess I focus on the female because you don't often see black women in the gallery space. You know, as artists, we do want to talk about things that interest us, and I'm a black British woman, and I think it's just very important to make my presence felt, because often in the workplace, you know, we can be viewed as troublemakers or angry, and
You mean an angry black woman? No.
Yes, yes.
You can get away with that.
So I actually wanted to just, you know, tell stories about us that's, you know, about our history, about our identity, about our culture.
Well, tell me about. I've always been fascinated about this particular drawing because all the imagery on the coat, and I have to admit, I'm always that we got London. Is that London dry gin? Is that my imagination going wild?
Yes, it's your imagination going wild. It's London. This is the very first big drawing that I made, and I completed it in 2015, and it's called Lost Found. It's actually part of a two-part work. So there's the drawing, and then there's the sculpture.
Oh, I remember you saying all those fragments, those bits on the Thames.
Yes.
So is that what's the bits of the Thames in there?
Yes, yes. So it's a lot of history, a lot of historical research that I'd done in and around where I live, which is in Bermondsey, and looking at the trade that happened along the river some 400 or 500 years ago. So I was asking initially why Jamaica Road in Bermondsey was called Jamaica Road, and through my research I discovered that the borough of Southwark had this strong connection to the slave trade.
Okay.
So I was interested to explore that and explore how the City of London had been built with this money.
So each of those symbols, now looking a bit harder, I can see there's some African symbols.
Yes, there's some African
symbols. But you've got some bits, is that a
there's
winch?
Some warehouses.
It's a warehouse.
Yes, and there was a lot of tobacco brought in as well, because you can see from my mudlark finds here that you can see a couple of pipes. I took those actually to the Museum of London, and they said that they date back to the 1500s.
Really?
Yeah.
As early as that?
Yeah.
Any value in there?
No, there's no monetary value.
No one's going to, not insured.
But I know, because they were a bit wary when they said, you can't sell it, you can't go on, one of these kind of TV shows where you try and, sell what you've got in the attic. And I said, no, I'm not interested in that, because I said I'm an artist. But for me it has value because it shows, it shows our presence and our influence. So the tobacco was brought in from the plantations in the Americas to here, and there's evidence of it. And it's interesting because you can actually date those pipes according to, you see here where you actually smoke through the hole in the pipe itself.
Oh my God,
so that's an older pipe than this one that's got a larger hole, because as tobacco became cheaper you could smoke more of it, and so you had a bigger hole, so you could afford more tobacco.
So you've taken these fragments and literally put them into the coat.
Yes, it feeds into that. So I actually used the same blue that was found on that ceramic.
Okay.
So it's a cobalt blue, which would have been used a lot in Delft, where
it's survived, doesn't it? It's still intense.
Yeah.
It's still that bright and intense.
Yeah, so I used that blue in the coat of the figure.
So, any chance of this coat ever being made?
I know, a lot of people have asked me to make that coat, and I probably will. I mean, it was my intention to make it when I was on my MA. I never had time to do it. But yes, I will at some stage.
Well, hopefully you'll invite me back to actually, I was going to say wear it, but if
you could model it for me.
With your 5'1" and I'm 7, no, I'm not 7 foot, I'm saying I'm 5'1". I very much look forward to it. Thank you so much for that, Charmaine. I appreciate it.